Hello, welcome to another episode of Battle Topics. I am your host Clayton, along with my special co-host Frackavelli, the Bay Area killer. We got Frack. What's up?
What's good, boys? Chilling in the cut. We got a special guest today. Here, I wrote a little intro. Brings through a dime when the shoddy is sparse. Make your bitch pop a molly like shoddy and arse. Welcome our host.
Oh my God.
Super icy. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers know that whether we on a podcast, video, or on the motherfucking radio, colder than the glaciers of ice, or the rain ghost. Motherfucking Uno High Times up in this bitch. Young gang sign.
Young gang sign.
Fungi hang glide.
Okay, so Lush One. Many things come to mind when you hear that name, but Lush One is normally paired with battle rap host extraordinaire, introduces battlers and himself like no one else can. So the term host kind of seems to be a gray area. It hasn't really been defined that well. Hosts are not so much just like the ultimate hype man or what have you, but you do have a lot of experience behind the scenes. I want your exact definition of what a host is in battle rap. Just kick this episode off.
Well, I think that it's a really dope topic. It hasn't really been covered, as you said. One thing that I think that I've always noticed, and since this is a battle rap related show, I know that y'all are more quick-witted than most, so y'all can follow analogies. So I'm just gonna use an analogy to help describe it, because I believe that, let's say that battle rap and just battling in general is congruous to music and making rap music songs. I feel like the role of the host is similar to that of a producer, a beat maker, and the dudes battling the rappers. You know, they're obviously the voices on the track. So as a host, you know, it's a lot more than just saying slick shit. You're literally setting the energy, the tone, and the vibe of the entire battle. You're setting the pacing. Oftentimes, most of us in the battle rap field that are hosting, and I'm not exactly sure why this is, but I think it definitely came to prominence through the YouTube era and through the whole, grind time generation. But the people that set up the battles and curated the events themselves are often the hosts. And I think, one reason why I did that, or why we did that out west, was because I was a recognizable figure in the community. I'd been a battler for years. All the other battlers knew me, so it was easy for me to. I knew how to set up events that would be pleasing to the audience as well as the battlers would feel comfortable getting into it. And what you're trying to do is inspire the best performance you could possibly get out of these dudes.
Yeah.
And in order to do so, it's like, if you make a whack beat, motherfuckers ain't finna want to rap to it. You know what I mean? But the whole vibe that we create as the host, from the promotional aspect, getting the people out there to, to everything, the venue that's chosen, the type of atmosphere that's in there, the music the DJ's playing beforehand, all of these are contributing factors that will sway the outcome of a battle. And so it's kind of funny that I use the analogy of producer, because it's often, if you look at all forms, all genres of music, when you hear the term producer, it means something different than it does in hip hop culture. Where, right. Like Sir George Martin produced all the Beatles records. Phil Spector produced the fucking Beach Boys. The producer is a dude that comes in and creates an aesthetic. He hires the musicians. He sets the entire tone, but he's not necessarily playing on the record itself. Now, in hip hop, there's kind of different terminology, but it's also a similar blurred line as to the host and curator, event creator of roles. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a really good analogy. And I think it kind of like follows through when talking about like the on-camera aspect of battle rap, and how you not only set the space in the building, but also like you give the online fan a chance to know what to react to, what's hot, what's not. It gives a YouTube commenter someone to hate on. In a sense, you're touching the buttons of the NPC in that sense too, because people are looking at you to see what's hot. How do you feel about being like the taste maker in a battle when you react?
No, that's a very, very good point. I mean, like that's like a whole part of the when I was referring to like setting the vibe and setting the pace and all that. Like everybody is not just the YouTube viewers, but everybody in the building
Facts.
is kind of looking to you, especially if you're a host of a certain caliber. That's people have seen your face thousands of times. So it just your whole aura has an accent of credibility at that point, and people that are kind of new, they're gonna see like, oh,
it's like the way Poison Pens laugh, right? I was about to say Poison
Pens. Exactly, 1000 right there. So like sometimes like I'm very genuine about my shit, but if I feel the crowd is inattentive, I'll put extras on it. You know what I mean, to get them more focused. If I feel like the crowd's biased against the dude that's from out of town, I'll react a little bit more to his shit. You know what I mean? To even out the vibe. Now, people could say, you could say that's kind of like playing favoritism or fixing the fight, but really it's more like, someone took a piss in the pool. I see the fucking green detector fluid everywhere. We got to clear the motherfucking pool out before there's 3-year-olds drinking urine. What is this, R. Kelly party? You know what I mean? Like, so that's the number one thing with keeping it fair, keeping it even keeled, and like it winds up becoming this whole other beast right there, and you really gotta it's important to be cognizant and aware of all that shit when you're hosting. You know what I mean? Like and also if the crowd starts talking or getting distracted, like if you're a host, your instinct's going to be to tell them to be quiet or to look off into the distance and raise your hand to try. But what that's going to do, that actually people see you being less focused, and instinctually on a molecular level, they're driven to pay less attention as a result. So you kind of have to ignore the background noise when you're hosting to a certain extent.
Yeah, dude, that is so true.
Trick the audience into queuing in again. That's actually, I give Organic props. That's something that I really learned from him, because I would do it too. But I'm not one of these hosts. If you notice, you never hear me cuss at the crowd. I never be like, shut the fuck up. I'm never, you know what I mean? Like, I might crack jokes if somebody do something goofy, but I'm not going to be making people feel bad out there like other hosts do. You know what I mean? Like, I'll ask them to please be quiet. It's really, and a lot of my abilities and the subtle nuances of the craft that I picked up came from A, being an MC who could freestyle, and B, was hosting or was already hosting shows and events, hip hop shows in the Bay for years before I was doing the battle shit.
Yeah, I think that's true in the sense that like you have to have a certain amount of like talents, and like your reference game has to be on 100. And I think people see, and when Lush One hosts, they see you like understanding crazy references. You kind of have a love for all the different eclectic styles to touch the stage.
Yeah.
Like how do you like train for that? Is it just because you like come from like that type of lifestyle where you just know a bunch of random shit, or like how is your host skills finited?
Well, I done lived a lot of life, you feel me? And it's like, you're trying to be a skater. You hit that fucking rail slide for the 50th time, the 100th time, the 5,000th time, you're going to get pretty nimble with it. You know what I mean? So part of it's literally just muscle memory and just training yourself to a certain degree. But as far as just like being a well-versed, well-rounded human being, there ain't no motherfucking class for that. You know what I mean? Like picking up references, understanding cultures and different, like eccentricities of people from different regions and shit. Like you really just gotta live life. Now I might got a few moons on the rest of y'all. I'm 35, so you know what I mean. Like I've been soaking up game and mindless pop culture for years. Fucking watching every episode of the Smurfs on LSD. You absorb that shit in your genetic strain after that.
So rewinding a little bit, you were talking about how you have to be cognizant of your actions like 100%. even in the live atmosphere, it turns out a lot different on camera, and you have to be wary of that, the fact that those seconds are going to be dissected for eternity. And I know hosts play a lot of roles and try to wear 1,000 hats at once.
Literally.
Yeah, exactly.
Lush would change his hats.
Yep.
So how much influence do you think that your reactions and your distractions play on an overall battle?
It's a good question. It definitely depends on various factors, like where is the battle, how many people at the event are there because of the promotions trickle down directly from me. You know what I mean? How much are people cued into me at that specific moment? Normally, I gotta say it's quite a bit at battle rap events. I can't go to any battle rap related event and not be recognized at this point. I think I would probably have to fucking jump face first into a 20-foot pool full of razor blades if that was the case, considering all the work I put in, right? Yeah. So, luckily I get recognized, but there's certain times I'll get overly scrutinized for my reactions to a battle, and people will be like, oh, for example, Rum Nitty versus Danny Myers. Everybody was like, why is this kid fucking literally having a fucking aneurysm, in the middle of this battle, freaking out, having an epileptic seizure and shit? Well, because I knew before all of y'all did, I could feel it. You know what I'm saying? In somewhere in my deeply cultured, ecstasy-induced brain, I knew that, okay, these dudes within a couple of years are going to be the hottest battlers in the game, and
that the culture in general would shift towards that style, right?
Yeah. I knew at that moment. And the same thing happened with Geechee and Saint a few months ago. And everybody's like, oh, Lush is tweaking. Look at him fucking bobbleheaded Lush looking like a retard while there's battles going on. Now, sure enough, fucking Geechee's pretty much the hottest battle rapper in the game. And when y'all see what Saint did at LA Battlegrounds, y'all are going to be like, fuck. You know what I mean? So, I just kind of have a good sense about it. But it's difficult in finding that balance of maintaining the composure, finding true enjoyment out of it, and not playing, like you said earlier, wanting to play myself out for eternity on YouTube.
Does that deter you though, knowing that battle was so long ago and those comments still exist to this day to a certain extent? Does that deter you going into an event knowing that, okay, I'm walking in, I gotta tone it down a little bit because I know that these moments are gonna live forever. I gotta be very aware of every move that I make?
Well, you know what? I've always been very comfortable in my skin.
Yeah.
And I've always been, thank God for that. And I've always been very, I'm very rebellious by nature. So if I see things, I want to know how much I can get away with. I want to know. So as soon as I noticed really on, within the first couple times that I appeared on YouTube, that fools had shit to say about the way I talk, the way I dress, the way I carry myself, my swag, my gesticulations, all that. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to fucking push it even further. You know what I mean? Because they're going to say shit. I might as well just do me. I'm going to be the one that everyone has a strong opinion about. I'm going to be the one that everyone's girlfriend remembers, whether it's because she wants to fuck me or because she thinks I stole her sunglasses. You know what I mean? It don't matter. They're gonna have something to say about me regardless, and that's what defined me as a person and as an entity in this game. And I think people think that I'm kind of an airhead, and that's cool. I've been using that tactic since I was young, and I set the bar very, very low. And then when people actually hear me speak and realize the type of person I am, it kind of just catches them off guard. Why do I want y'all to think that I'm a fucking diabolical genius? That means that y'all are just going to be working harder to fucking try to take me down. Let y'all think that I'm an incapable, drug-addled imbecile, and I'm secretly bossing up on everybody the whole time.
Yeah, I think that's actually something that's been funny to see with the whole watch battles thing happening, where I feel like people kind of had this misconception of you as this kind of drugged out, airhead, and then it turns out you actually have all this wisdom and so much culture and eccentricity and articulation to you. Do you think that misconception is something you see a lot when you roam around?
Well, I mean, yes, to an extent, for sure. Except that, you know, there are people that pay really close attention and can tell based on what I react to, or them, the brief interactions, or the off the cuff things that I will say. They'll actually lead them to, they'll see through my facade and realize I'm actually a somewhat intelligent dude, despite everything else. But you know, it's pretty. I can't really blame people for making assumptions based on a 15-second window into my life when I'm already turned up, got a blunt in my mouth and a beer in my hand. You feel me? And God knows what in my system. You feel me? Like, of course, they catch me for 10 seconds, doing a fucking, you know, like 3-syllable rhyme about fucking someone's girl in the ass while she ovulates. I mean, like, Of course, they're gonna be like, what is this? What is folks on? He's tweaking, but it's that same thing that makes the people that I grew up looking up to instantly be like, oh, that crazy ass white boy, I fucks with him. So like, I don't give a fuck. You think I'm weird and shit, but like Method Man and Drake and fucking Mac Mall and all these dudes think I'm fucking tight. You feel me? Like Nicki Minaj is like, oh, that white boy's cute. He's crazy. You feel me? Like that wouldn't happen.
Whoa, can we get the story behind that one?
Yeah, if it was real. Fucking so you know what I mean though? Like that's kind of that's validation enough. And I feel like at the end I've never really been about as long as the ends justify the means, it don't matter how you get there. Just fucking get there. You know what I mean? Like obviously I don't mean don't do anything to compromise your morals or act like a sucker or do no bitch shit. You feel me? I'm saying like however you got to grind it out. Like I know I have an array of talents and things that'll help the scene, help the culture, help me support my family, and just help add to my legacy. And that's what I'm interested in. And whichever one of those pops off, it's fine. What do I want to be doing? Shit. If I had it my way, I'd be on tour with like Lil Uzi Vert performing in front of 30,000 kids right now and just rapping. You feel me? But this is what's making me relevant, and everything I do feeds other things that I do that I'm interested in. And this is just like the most important thing. And if the greatest contribution I have to this culture is as a curator and host and personality in battle rap, that's a fucking blessing. That's a blessing for a kid from West LA who wasn't even supposed to be accepted by the hip hop community. You know what I mean?
For sure. So, expanding on that a little bit, regardless of the actual like mayhem that happens during the battle, what would you say as like a host is like the day-to-day operation when it comes to that title? Would you say it's like the equivalent of like a promoter, or what do you guys accomplish like in a day-to-day environment?
Well, I mean, like there are now. Don't get it twisted. There are fools that strictly just host and are not involved in any curating, any behind the scenes, anything. They just show up on the day, fucking get out. You know what I mean? They're few and far between nowadays. Most of the dudes.
It's like being an Instagram model.
It truly fucking is. But it's like, or also, I really like using the analogy of music producer, because it's like back in the day, you wouldn't really hear too much. You didn't hear anything from Marley Marl or DJ Premier or any of these fools, and you just heard their music. You feel me? Like, and then nowadays, like producers, they have to be fucking going live on IG just like the rappers do to keep their names relevant, and fucking dropping fucking Gotti producer tags at the beginning of every single beat so that everyone knows who made it. You know what I mean? Like, and things like that. So we have to do things in order to keep the interest in our platform lit, the interest in, you know, whatever event we got coming up. If we're not booking battles for it, we're, you know, trying to get rappers to see eye to eye with us on a business level, trying to get them to promote, getting everything in order for the event. As soon as that fire drops, I'm pushing the line because I want it to be worth their money to fuck with me. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I want it to be like right now, and I know I'm sure we'll get into it more later, but we're being back on KOTD staff. I need to make sure that everything I do is a very high standard because it's all eyes on me. And people are like, okay, this is the resurgence of the West and Lush One coming back in the fold. If you don't do something crazy, so right now I'm getting all my ducks in a row, and at the same time, keeping it lit, keeping people interested, doing things like this, chopping up with y'all right now. As much as y'all are my partners and I'll chop it up with y'all any day, the fact that we're doing this in this format is because I'm keeping KOTD lit, the GZ West Coast lit, the Lush brand lit, all of us. You feel me? And that's part of what I have to be doing on a daily basis.
Yeah, and I think people don't really understand. I know from working with organic, on a weekly basis, that people misunderstand how much goes in behind the scenes with the miscellaneous, basically bad mouthing or making sure that everyone's morale's high or making sure that everyone's cool with this and that. Like, somebody's job is having to do that, and you guys seem to play the mediator with a lot of that, considering your guys' personality and your guys' likability and all that.
Yeah, as well as just interaction with the local scene, the politics of the fucking different leagues and all that shit, and how it's habitual fucking eggshells, you feel me? Yeah. And I come in there with fucking Giuseppe Zanotti moon boots on, like stepping on the eggshells, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but on the real, like, there's a whole lot and there's, like I said earlier, certain minutia that people wouldn't even realize is a part of it. Like, do motherfuckers know that I got calf muscles that will literally you can split atoms with my calf muscles, dog. You feel me? I know I look like my body is shaped like a baby in an incubator, but that's just because 95% of my muscle mass is in my calves, bro. I can stand up for like 15 hours straight. Yeah, dude, I'm like a kangaroo, bro. I really, like literally can stand for 15 hours straight.
Hey, that kind of leads into another question. I guess this kind of answers it already.
Urine hoarding too, real quick. Sorry, got it. Like, you might not be able to piss for hours. You feel me? You better fucking get that kidney game strong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Clayton's bladder is straight jacked.
I mean, it has to be, right? I mean, but that leads into my question of, if you were to build a host like in your ideal world, what qualities would be in the best
like you had like
host?
A 2K create a player, create a host.
You customize character, build a host. What qualities are the best qualities in hosts, in your opinion?
Well, the first thing that I thought, and I'm not even trying to be cute right now, but literally was tits. You said build a host. I thought tits instantly. You know what I mean? Like, I think that that would be crazy if there was like an ill ass female host. That's something I'd like to see. A badass bitch that's host. I think personality is the number one
nice
thing.
Titties.
Yeah, a dude with some nice titties.
Or a dude with some nice tits. That could definitely be interesting. You feel me? I mean, I'm not gonna hate on the homie Penn's tits. He's kind of fire. But nah.
Throw some double D's on Smack.
Yeah, exactly. Double D's on Smack. You feel me? I think actually, Double D's on Smack battled on Queen of the Ring last month, actually. But
battler name.
That's a bar.
Yeah, it's a bar as fuck. But no, I think being the number one thing is having a cool personality. It's I get that a lot of other fools do it. Pretty much everybody else besides me, they have like a little internal script that they have when they host every battle. And to me, it's like, not only how can you lack creativity to the extent that you don't have enough slick shit to say, that you do. Maybe that's because I came up in the Bay where everybody's so quick-witted, and I came up around pimps who are fucking, finessing money out of bitches. You feel me? So, like, I know how to talk slick. You always had to talk slick, especially being the white boy in the clique. You got to be really quick. You know what I mean? So I guess that's kind of what forged this animal. But I think that at the end of the day, it's very important to be creative and witty. Say, like, well, how the fuck you finna repeat yourself? Not only for lack of creativity, but for like your own lack of boredom. You really finna say the same shit again? Like, oh no, there's 5 basic points I got to get across, but the road in which I take to hit all those points could be fucking like swinging on foes down the fucking highway in Texas. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like I could hit it in a zigzag pattern.
Yeah, it's interesting too how like these characteristics of hosts become like embedded in the culture, right? Like you got the Lush arm weight, you got the Schmarak where he breaks up the battlers and he comes through with the little, you got Poison Pen's laugh, and you got, you even got the new dude on Smack, the Al Capone cigarillo guy. Like all these dudes become staples of the culture, and when people watch, it's something else to make the battle interesting and give it some attitude.
Well, it's crazy how much hosts are inspired by each other too, which is because and I think the dudes you mentioned, myself, Organic, Penn, Smack, and I'll throw in the mix as well. You know what I mean? Like everybody's kind of a knockoff of one of those templates of hosting, or a combination of theirs. Like there's a lot of fools that have the Lush One cadence when they host. They don't even realize it's like my fucking hosting cadence is the Migos flow in the industry. What's good? It's your boy. It's funny. It's the triplet cadence, just like the Migos.
Don't flop all fucking day.
Yeah, exactly. I've been rocking with that for many moons now. So it's like people intrinsically do that, and I thought it was cool. How Avocado decided for a while to not have the host, because but I really don't think it was the hosting, and maybe this is me just wanting to keep my job more zany, zesty, but I feel like the main reason he was doing that is because the videos are fucking have like 10 minutes of content before full star rapping, which is excessive as fuck. You know what I mean? And there doesn't need to be. We don't need to hear the 8 different hosts with their own variation of the Lush One intro. We don't need that. But to have the main motherfucker, whether it's me, Organic, whoever, be there and just present it, to me, it adds so much context, even to like the casual viewer, just as opposed to, whoa, okay, this guy's rapping already. What's going on here? Oh, hey, whoa, he just said, he just fucking shot 20 guns and said the N-word and faggot 20 times. You feel me? Like, whoa, what's going on? As opposed to, hey, this is this dude from Washington, D.C. with one arm versus, this guy from Alberta who's fat and white. You know what I mean?
Set that up on No Coast ASAP.
Oh my gosh.
That is a No Coast classic for sure.
One thing about hosts, though, that I think that they need to be aware of, and I'm sure you're aware of, is that you guys are about as close to the camera as the battlers are. You guys, a lot of new fans even look at you guys as almost like the barometer of what to react to in a certain sense. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like the validation that people like look around if they're laughing, they like look around to see if other people are laughing, or was that funny or was that not funny type deal. So you guys do play like a huge influence on whether something was like reaction worthy. Like if you see Organic look around like, oh, what was that? You know what I mean? Then other people are like, yeah, what was that? Or if you see him like react, they're like, let me run that back. You know what I mean? So when it comes to that, do you guys feel that you guys do play a big part in whether someone's material hits or not?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's kind of like when Chase Moore was doing the Watch Battles live, when he was watching Geechee versus Saint, and he compared my reactions to the NBA Jam voice. You feel me? Nick Vitale, not Dick Vitale, Nick Vitale. You feel me? So like, I feel like that's a really, really good, that's like congruent as fuck right there. It's like, so like with a dude like me, if I'm hosting and I'm not reacting, then you know that it probably sucks because I'm very involved and attentive as far as the rapping goes when people are hosting. Now, if you're able to get a reaction out of Smack, you're fucking killing it because he barely reacts to anything. You know what I mean? Like, and that's an Organic somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, for sure.
Organic's a lot more composed than I am, but he's more involved than Smack is as well.
Has there ever been a time where you like lied? You pretended you were enjoying something a lot more than you were, or like there was something whack that you had to force yourself to be like, I fuck with this?
Well, yeah, kind of like what I was saying earlier. basically in the event that I feel like someone's being that the crowd's being biased because somebody's not from there, or because I would do things like that when we were first bringing more street oriented battlers over to grind time and shit, when the whole crowd would be used to comedy and they wouldn't know how to react to daylight bars or Averb bars. I would kind of have to overreact to certain things to help induce the reaction and get it going, and kind of school fools on what to pay attention to, kind of like you said in the beginning of the thing, being a tastemaker, like showing fools, yes, this is what's hot. You know what I mean? Like I literally I remember the damn guy in the wheelchair more than I remember pretty much anything from the Ness versus Solomon battle.
Yeah, he was so in pocket, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that dude influenced so much. So it's not even just the host, but it's the little crowd that's gathered around the host, which the host is somewhat responsible for, because whoever is standing around is most likely going to be close homies.
I think sometimes hardcore battle fans forget that it's not just two rappers rapping, but to like the casual YouTube eye, this is like a spectacle. Like, what are we watching? We need context for this. It's not just like a bar off for the casual YouTube fan, which is what most battle rap views come from anyway.
Yeah, no, it's like it definitely needs the context, and I don't think that everything needs to be explained, but it just to kind of make note, okay, like round one, it's on so and so. You know what I mean? Just to remind everybody, to bring it back, to be like, okay, we're here. It's just like it's so much more than just filling up space and keeping people moderately entertained. Like, to me, like, I put like it's I'm so involved as a host, and like when I would set up events, I would literally try to make Illmatic, and that's why I would name events after classic hip hop songs. You feel me? Like, like why we had an event called Takeover, an event called Ether, and originally a Vendetta was going to be called Machiavelli. I don't know if y'all remember that, but the reason why is because I was literally, Fracky though, yeah. But I was literally trying to craft events like with the same passion. So if fools would fuck up in their battle, that would just be devastating to me. Like, when an MC is choking, it makes me feel like I'm choking too, because I want to be connected to this classic moment in history that these people are creating, and I want to, you know what I mean? So it's like, we're all losing out on the potential to have something amazing. It's like seeing the Sistine Chapel burning in your face.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, speaking of that, we'll kind of go back to what you were talking about, alluding to earlier. The name Lush One has kind of resurged a little bit, not only with the involvement with Ruin Your Day, but also the new resurgence with your King of the Dot involvement. So in regards to that, the West Coast has kind of seemed a little dry with the advent of the Bunker, and a couple other leagues have been kind of slowing down a little bit for one reason or another. But would you mind breaking down like what the involvement is with King of the Dot, how it came about, and what the plans are for the near future?
Well, I mean, if you guys remember, I was the catalyst for the expansion to America initially for King of the Dot in the end of 2011, because Grind Time was falling apart. Organic and Avocado and like most of our battlers were already over there, you know what I'm saying? But so it was already in the works, and Organic and me were already homies for so many years and shit. Like, literally my whole staff was over there already. So I was like, fuck it, let's do this. Let's bring it to America. Let's get it popping in Cali. We're already so incestual. Might as well just, you know what I'm saying? If you can't keep it in your pants, keep it in the family. Exactly. Fucking so that happened, and then we had our ebbs and flows. I'm a dude I've had a lot of valleys and peaks in my career, and during the downtime when shit's not popping, being able to sustain myself, that becomes like a survival skill at a certain point. So it's like I felt like I feel like I was like a dude that was just like a dope dealer that got a record deal, and I was like super popping, and then like I lost my deal, and I had to go back to the fucking streets and start serving again. You feel me? And that's, I mean, literally, yeah, but also like metaphorically, that's really what I did, and really started operating on a grassroots level, dealing with, like, I've hosted. Y'all might not know because it's not on the as big of the platforms as King of the Dot, but I've literally hosted every single event that's been in California the past fucking year and a half. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I was doing all the LA Battlegrounds events, the Power and Respect events, fucking Central Coast Chamber, fucking Battle of the Zay. When URL West came out, I was there with Smack, all the King of the Dot bunkers. I was hosting for Avo and with Ganik and shit. So I was keeping it lit, building with all the scenes. Now, King of the Dot was so focused on Massacre and Blackout, and then with the whole thing, the tragedy striking the bunker and shit. Fools were like, "Yo, what the fuck is going to go on in the West?" And I'm literally seeing all like the work that we put in for years with King of the Dot to build this scene and to just raise the entire credibility of the platform. And like, dude, like at first people were super still into grind time, and we had to really sell them on King of the Dot. They're like, well, that's that Canadian shit. They were calling us fucking turf hoppers. You feel me? Like, They were like, yo, what the fuck? They were like upset. And then we made them all love King of the Dot. And then like I started to see that slipping away because there wasn't shit going on out here, and everybody was so hungry, and there's like this huge influx of talent. It's like, we need to do something. And I was talking to Organic a lot, and there had been so many things that had kind of transpired that there's a lot of it was kind of like trying to tie a pair of roller skates, but there are already a bunch of knots in them. We literally had to go and take the knots out the motherfucking roller skates.
How do these analogies make so much sense to me?
Right?
We're just going on the ride with you, man. That's dope, though.
So that's really what it is. You know what I'm saying? We had to make it make sense within the internal structure of the King of the Dot Company and all of my personal relationships in that context. And me and Organic, and then kind of Organic himself, to keep it a stack, never wanted me to not be a part of King of the Dot. Yeah. It kind of was like, it just became a thing where he was literally having to spend hours of his day. I was like the prize elephant at the circus. I'm like Dumbo, the flying elephant, but I'm just shitting all over the place. And the zookeeper just has to like clean up my shit all day. Eventually, they're like, you know what? Everyone else in the zoo, the giraffe's not even getting fed no more. You feel me? The bearded lady ain't getting dicked down no more. Your whole entire fucking circus is running amok. You need to get rid of this fucking elephant. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what it was. Like, Organic never wanted to.
But the elephant went back to dope dealing and knew what the fuck he was doing.
Exactly. Had to serve peanuts and shit. Pause. And like it just got it got a little bit funky, but like through time, because at the end of the day, like I literally can say that I consider the King of the Dot staff. Those are my brothers. Like I love these fools. We have 10-year plus relationships at this point, and so it was bound to happen. Sometimes motherfuckers don't see eye to eye, and it all comes back. And I had man, I went through a really rough time, man. My best fucking friend died. You feel me? Like shit. And I don't want to use that as an excuse or anything. There's a whole bunch of shit going on though. That kind of, my head was out the game. And it's sad because I feel like Clayton, the whole time you've been heavily involved, like I was kind of like on my way out. You feel me? So it's kind of dope now that we're bisecting pause on this level and we're able to, you know what I'm saying? Like it's going to get some shit cracking now because we're both on the squad and shit, you know? That's
I mean, it's like Voltron up in this bitch, man. I'm excited. I don't know the exact details behind like the day-to-day operation and all that, but I know
you got the combination of Lush's caps and Clayton's trapezoids. That's a real fucking
yeah.
And then Avo's biceps.
It's a rhythm.
We got all that. It's like man, it's unstoppable right there. So I'm excited to see like LA is. I feel even though there's so many people out there that when it comes to like the major leagues, it seems kind of untapped. And with the definite energy that you have, along with the work ethic behind like Ruin Your Day and King of the Dot and all that, I feel like it's like sky's the limit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was a dope history, Lush. I wanted to ask just more specifically, what can King of the Dot fans expect with this upcoming event in June, on a talent-wise level and like just on a resurgence level?
Good question once again. So like as far as because I didn't really fully answer this in the previous question as well. Basically, like King of the Dot is really loose as far as specific titles and things go, but I would say my main title is pretty much head of West Coast GZ at this point.
Yeah.
J Pro is still technically and will remain the head of King of the Dot West, although he's more as far as like the main event booking negotiations of. He's like a CFO. He's like,
so you're like the West. You're like the West goalie then, huh? So you're gonna get something for
yeah,
and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, and I'm the face of the West Coast, so I'll be hosting and doing the live. So basically, it's my eye on the talent of the upcoming talent that's going to be booking majority GZ matches and just like steering the direction of that, as well as helping to book, and just giving my input on the main events, which Pro is booking and shit with Organic in them. And then I'm pretty much going to be running the actual event, the main events, as well, as far as like the timing, the pacing, literally like the event management. So Pro can worry about the fucking financial shit and, getting this person paid. While I have my soldiers picking up the motherfuckers from the airports and the hotels, making sure they're all there. And I'm literally running next 3 battles, that's what I'm going to be doing. You know what I mean? In addition to hosting, which I'm good at, which I have a natural inclination for, because I just like to keep the party lit. I have a good instinct of when people want to take a break, while also bearing in mind time restrictions and things like that. And so, and the key to that is always starting earlier than you expect to have to. I don't give a fuck if the venue's not full yet. Get that shit jumping, because you ain't finna want to cram when the audience is already drunk and sick of hearing bars later on.
And sometimes that's what you need, Sometimes you need that, stray away from the scene to realize why you were a part of it in the first place. You know what I mean? Sometimes you need that break.
Oh, yeah.
To take that breather.
You're right. No, that's a super solid point. And, for me, I kind of had it. It was a little bit foolish for me to just make the assumption that it was going to be easy going back into this. It's like I've been fighting and wanted this position for a while, and I knew that the West needed this, and the kids out here need this. You know what I mean? Like, it's a whole. I'm a spotlight for all these kids, and they're coming to me. They're mad at me because I can't put them on. Lush, why you ain't booking me? I'm like, bro, ain't your dumbass notice I haven't booked battles for King of the Dot in a year and a half? Well, now there's no excuse. So as soon as that announcement got made, it's like, whoop, all eyes on me. All the politics, it's all just like, it all came back out. And I was like, it kind of.
Bro, I don't envy your inbox right now. Holy shit.
No, it's grimy. But, and my anxiety is crazy too. I got like gnarly PTSD from all this shit that I've been through. You feel me?
Okay.
You get that notification symbol. It's fucking game over, man.
Dude, literally though, the thing that will make my heart skip a beat and just uncontrollable panic if I hear a fucking that Motorola trap phone ringtone. If I hear that shit, it literally makes my heart flutter, dog. It's like it's grimy. But yeah, so I kind of thought it would be easy, but then I realized, no, it's not. But then I kind of took a step back and was like, shit, I'm built for this, baby. This is what I'm here to do. I've gone through so much stuff. I'm damn near a pattern reader at this point. And it's just like I said before, it's difficult to not crack the eggshells with Giuseppe's on, but that's kind of what I'm trying to do. It's let our presence be known while respecting the order of the scene that exists, respecting the being in tune with the desires and the goals and ambition of the up and coming rappers. What do they have their eyes on? Because what made me, I feel like, be so successful and poignant with the moves I would make always would be because I know if I was a battler, this is what I would want to do. Well, now I kind of been refreshing, what's the new goal? What's the new ambition? What's the prize that these kids got their eyes on? And then I try to be a telescope for that. I try to become their lens. And so I realized, I'm fucking ready for this. Right now, just pretty much going over the initial things of locking. I'm not going to say King of the Dot thrust me into a bad position, but it's like, okay, you gave me like a month and 5 days and to put together a card, book a venue, fucking get all the money together and get everything popping. Like, so that was my first thing. I was like, boom, number one, secure the bag. Check.
Yeah, trial
number
by fire,
two,
man.
secure the venue. You feel me? Secure the fucking venue. Check. Now it's like, all right, now I'm going to be booking all the matches. So I don't expect to be able to get that crazy of a card with considering the budgetary restraints, the time restraints or anything, but it also can't be boof because if it is, you know what I mean? Because it can't be boof because I don't do boof and there's no way to change the date. So I'm all in already and I just got to put together something solid. And I think based on the hunger of the scene married to my personal relationships and then multiplied by the King of the Dot platform, you know what I mean? It's pretty much, I'm going to be able to do something hot. And I think by the winter time, yeah, West that. And by the winter time, we'll have something fucking gnarly for folks.
Totally off topic.
Yeah. Well, we all know Lush is a hip-hop connoisseur, all the way from Lil Uzi Vert to A$AP Rock. He knows it all. So I guess my question is, what is one...
A$AP Rocky.
Man, he knows A$AP Rocky and A$AP Rocky. That's how underground.
And A$AP Rocky as well.
So the question is, what is one difference and one similarity between a Scribble Jam cipher and a studio session with Chief Keef?
One difference is there's black folks in the studio. One similarity, and fools don't know this and are really not aware. Keith actually freestyles all of his material. He doesn't write anything, and it's not like he's spitting like a off the head 16, but he'll go in the booth. He'll like the beat play. He'll spit a couple bars. He'll be like, all right, bring it back, rewind that, take out the second bar. All right, like he like literally will Jay-Z the entire verse. So
that's crazy.
Chief Keef is he's a very improvisational. He knows how to literally just embody a song. Hear a beat and be like, this is that, and he has enough marbles rolling around in his noggin that he can just at will choose different things to use as a point of reference to express from, and that's a big similarity right there. People wouldn't get Scribble Jam ciphers and Chief Keef freestyle.
You painting the picture in my head right now of Chief Keef in the studio just being like, I'm rhyming it fresher. I'm spitting it darker.
He's definitely rapping it darker.
Rapping it darker. All right, so
definitely darker.
Studio.
All right, so Lush, you touched on the fact that you got a lot of your experience from battling, but now you have transcended to the role of host. So if we combine those two realms and Lush One were to introduce Lush One as a battler, how would that go down?
Be like, I would have to make reference to the fact that I'd be like, you feel me? Like, this motherfucker will blast your ass with a Beretta saw, and he's got the only dick of a battle rapper that I ever saw.
No pause with that either. Or is that a pause? I don't even
know. No, I think
my guy with the Beretta saw.
You know what? I would negate the saw by saying by the pause by saying for the bitches afterwards, because everybody knows if you say for the bitches, it negates a pause. Negates like the need for a pause.
Statement. I feel like that was the opposite of a pause-worthy statement.
Yeah, exactly. It's like confirming my hetero status. The only dick I ever saw, guys.
Because you've never seen any dick other than your own. I get it.
Never.
At least battle rapper dick.
Yeah, at least battle rappers that I know. Well, hollow hands porn. Okay. Anyway.
All right, next question. On a scale of different Ron Brown's instrumentals, what was your favorite episode of Ether Weekly?
I would have to say Pop Champagne, because I actually did Pop Champagne. There's another Ron Browse instrumental for that ass. And my favorite, dude, I on that show, I got to do some cool stuff, like interviewing fucking Trey D from the East Siders. You feel me? That was really tight. And just being able to like go with all like I interviewed Trey D from the East Siders. I interviewed Busy Bone. I interviewed G Malone, Compton AV. Like we had dope guests on that show. We had dope guests on that show. That was by far my favorite part, is getting to chop. I mean, that show could have grown into something cool if it just wasn't like it was just the gayest thing ever. You know what I mean? Like, but if it wasn't, it would have been tight.
I mean, that's a given right there. All right. All right. So you mentioned earlier in the episode about like YouTube comments and how you've read some nice and not so nice things about yourself. But what do you think, out of all the comments that you've ever seen thrown your way, what do you think's been the biggest misconception you've ever seen within the YouTube comments of yourself?
Like something that I always thought was super funny is like, yo, Lush is trying so hard. He's trying hard. He's really fucking trying. Like, no, I'm not. It's the opposite of anything. Like, yeah, but like, I don't know. I was like, the people think that I take on certain affectations or speak in a certain way that's not genuine to myself. I see less and less comments like that as the years have gone on. Yeah. That was actually damn near more comment that I would get regarding to when they would just see me as a battle rapper or just as an artist. I'd be just getting typical white boy who talks like I talk and walk like I walk comments. But I think that was always just something that struck me as odd. Like, this is, I mean, physical characteristics, you could harp on that forever and this and that. But like, no, like this is really who I am. I'm genuine to myself, hate it or love it. You know, you definitely don't gotta like it, but like, there's no effort going into this persona. If anything, I'm trying to tone it down and be less weird for y'all.
For sure. All right, Freck, I think Freck's got the last question, right?
Oh yeah, I do have one more. Oh yeah, so you've been Instagram storying yourself in Lush Uno babysitter mode. My question is what has been the most Caddy Ron-like thing that Mini Caddy Ron has said or done?
Oh, he's a spitting image as fuck. Like he'll say the craziest shit, dude. Like it's like he's uncontrollably his father. Like the genetics were so strong with that one. He'll oh yeah. You know what he said one time? So one time we was on the trampoline playing around, right? And like we were playing hoop on the trampoline. He has like a trampoline with a basketball hoop there. And he went to drive on me, and this fool elbowed me in the face. It didn't really hurt that bad because he's 5, right? But I was like, hey, bro, like that. I said, hey, bro, that hurts. And he's like, so what? I'm like, say you're sorry. And he goes, this fool picks up his little toy cap gun. He says, you know what, homie? Fuck your emotions. Blah, blah, blah. Let off 3 shots.
Damn.
That's a true story, bro. That really happened. Eli, shout out to my guy Eli, man. He's a great kid. Just finished his pre-K year. One more game left for his first baseball season. He just got the game ball. I'm really proud of that dude, man. He's a great. I started out just popping up because that's what you're supposed to do. Look after because not only Caddy, but his baby mama Jill was a good friend of mine for years. So I was like, of course I'm gonna pop up, and then it's like low key, like man, like he's such a great kid. I love being around him. I feel honored to get to be a part of his growth as a young man. He's the fucking shit, and it's the closest I can get to kicking it with his pops.
Oh yeah,
that's really awesome, man.
He can rap his ass off too, man. So watch out,
Ooh,
man.
Young
might
prodigy.
be interviewing bro in a few years.
Wow, I feel like if I meet him, his genetics will kick in, and I might just get slapped up.
And so you know what? He actually watched that whole battle, and he liked to, and it was good to show him like how you guys were friends in the end, and you know what I'm saying,
Right.
like, and dapped it up, and like it was like, you know, it's all about being a good sport. You feel me? Like, of course, when he like sees his dad take off on someone, that's gonna be funny. You know what I mean? But then like when the lesson kicks in the end, it's even more it's even more poignant. You feel me? It really hits hard. So
Damn,
yeah,
teaching life lessons through Royal Rumbles. That's what you like to hear.
That's what you got to do,
my boy
man.
Dan is part of the Dan plan.
Dan
That plan.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate you being on, Lush. This has been an awesome episode, to say the least. So let the people at home know where they can find you and where they can hear the words of wisdom of Lush One.
You feel me? Pulling up that scissor till I'm topsy-turvy. CR, that's Caddy Wrong Gang. So don't mind the Rockies jersey. You know what time it is. Just just scream at a boss in traffic. You feel me? I'm just out for them big face girls. You feel me? Just choosing up on a bitch. If a bitch, you can't ever sleep on a bitch because a bitch will tuck scripts. If a bitch tucks scripts, you feel me? Then she better suck dick to come up with it, or else, you feel me? She's gonna leave with a busted, ruptured upper lip in this. It's that simple, man.
That is simple. That is very simple. That's like 2 + 2 right there. So at Lush One, I suppose, is what we get out of that.
5 to 6 hours shift. Need my dough quick, or else you get in a cold fist.
That's all you need to know, folks. All right, so we got GZ West representative, Ruin Your Day contributor, all around West.
Gang, y'all be smooth, man. Appreciate
gang.
it.
Thank you again. We hope to see you on again soon, man.
Peace, Uno. Good talking to you.
Peace, man.
All right, see y'all soon, man. Much love.